speech. You're like the fact that you just stop.
I can hear you.
The fact that I just said that better than I've ever said it before, and that you weren't recording.
I know. So what did you say? You can always say it better.
I can't. It'd be going upstream.
You're a prostitute, right? That's all you're saying.
I'll tell Gus when the time comes.
You're a Hollywood prostitute because every girl in Hollywood is basically a product of this Hollywood prostitution.
You should
ring.
film yourself. Not
Hollywood
prostitution ring, but
yes.
here, let's stop. Essentially, what I'm saying is, I want to get closer. Because I don't want to have to yell. There's loud.
Beaches. Yes, okay.
Okay. Essentially, what I'm saying is that in light of the Me Too and Time's Up movement, I think the world has. I don't want to look up at this twinkling sun where I can't. I can't. It's too much.
In light of the world.
No, I can't make any kind of intellectual things about it. Somebody's just gonna have to figure it out themselves. I'm done being intellectual. Fuck you all. Okay. No, but seriously. I think it's clear to the world now that Hollywood, by the Me Too and Time's Up movement, that Hollywood functions Hollywood, up until this point, had been closeted about the fact that it functions as essentially very similar to prostitution in the way that the women who work in Hollywood essentially submit themselves to the male egos of the men so that they can create work together. And it's whether people want to think of it as good or bad, it's very similar to a woman submitting her body to a John for the sake of creating less stress for that client. That's essentially what sex work is. So if a woman is submitting herself to a film to say, hey, make money off of my body, release stress, feel creative, and tune into this divine feminine sensuality through my body, the woman's choosing to enter Hollywood. She's choosing to do that. She's choosing to submit her body and her spirit to the roles that are available to her, to the producers, to the creative people who want to work with her. And that's the same thing a prostitute or a sex worker does when she submits her body. Now, yes, there are varying levels of people really feeling like they're in control of that and not a victim to that, but the essence of the mythological origins of that is that prostitute meant to stand in place of the goddess, to stand as proxy for the great divine sensuality, feminine energy that everybody wants to tap into, that we all are products of, that we are birthed out of. So the essence of prostitution or sex work or divine goddess sensuality, those essences are the same. It's people connecting to that divine sensual experience, sexual experience that creates life. And that's why movies are so successful all over the world, because you have women who are giving themselves in that way. And so when I was outed or mistaken as a prostitute, I was really outed as a prostitute, because working in Hollywood is sex work for the world. It's just a sort of euphemistic version of that. And
nice. Yeah, that's deep. I totally
beyond euphemistic version, I mean, in many ways it's an overt version, but essentially, it functions in a very similar arena, and it can function in a very similar arena, and I think for important reasons. There's a very important reasons why it functioned in that arena, just as there are very important reasons why women now have to speak up and stand up for what they have chosen to do, for the ways they have chosen to submit themselves to men, and take ownership and responsibility of that. And I think that me sort of being mistaken for a prostitute and going on this self-realization journey, realizing that I actually am in solidarity with the idea of what sacred prostitution is, I can stand in my truth and say, yes, I stand in solidarity with prostitutes, because I understand, I feel what that is, to feel victimized, but also in totally submitting yourself and offering yourself to that work. So in both ways, I think the ultimate transcendence is to say, yes, I am a prostitute. I wasn't mistaken for one, I am one. Now what?
Yeah.